Modiga människor.
Modiga människor.
Modiga människor. Hello. Hi and welcome to Modiga Människor. And today I have with me Sabrina Friedrichsen. You're from Denmark, and we met in the beginning of this year in Spain. And you work as a mindset coach, and you do it very successfully. Yeah, so hi and welcome, Sabrina.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I just before I let you in, I just want to tell the story of our meeting, because we met at a restaurant, and I was not in a good place myself, and we started to talk, and you said something to me that really, you have this gap sometimes, and you really entered with what you said. It wasn't like something extra ordinary, but you just said it and it just went in, and I knew that you were right, and I started to cry so much because I knew that I really need to change something about my thinking and my mindset. And one of it is, of course, the money mindset, but there is so much more in a mindset. And that's where you came into my life. And you've been, you did this Bob Proctor course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's one of the parts you're working with. But now I'm over to you, and just tell us a little about you and who you are.
Yes. But I am a lady, 51 years old. And for 3 years ago, I decided that I want to move to Spain. I started my education by Bob Proctor 5 or 6 years ago, I think. And I just want to learn myself how to manifest, how to see the change in the outer world when I am changing myself. So I choose to move to Spain. And the day the day I have decided to move, I don't have the money that I thought I would have. I only have $500 on my account, and no credit and no family or help to be supported of. But I choose to move anyway. I choose, that was my exam, to show myself that I could let go of the fear, let go of the old paradigm, and just choose my dream. And that is what I have done. And now I'm living in this penthouse I was dreaming about and driving this cabriolet. I saw myself, I was visualizing how I want to live in the sun and with the palm and with the view. And I could feel the feeling of driving this car without a roof. So I have just shown myself how I am doing it, and it has given me so much knowledge about myself, because we can often be caught up in a lot of theories and what other people are saying and other people's story, but we have to choose take our power home and know we are all so powerful. We can all create what we want. But we don't have to look out here, because that is a reflection of us. We have to measure our own inner self. So that is my short story. Not to go too long back for things I have made before.
Yeah. But that was one of the things you also told me, this story about the $500, and that you didn't. You told me that you didn't say the truth to a friend because she was worried, and you said, "Oh, it's okay. I have money."
Exactly.
And because that's also one thing, and sometimes other people, they want to help, but with their help they are not helping. So if you would have gone into her fears, maybe you wouldn't have gone.
No. And I was very aware of that. I was very aware of that. This is my story. So if we are buying into others' opinion, we are just being confused. So in all when you are evolving with yourself, don't listen to other, because it's your life. So it's so important that we are again taking our energy back and just be in our own creator bubble, and don't look at the circumstances and don't listen to other people. Because yes, of course, if they are giving you the power and they are helping you in that right direction, but if they don't understand you, don't listen to them, because they are not you. They don't know your journey. So it's so important to be strong in your own focus and be strong in your own vision, and just tune into that vision and start to live it.
But actually, that is one of the hardest things, because we are so drilled in the society to look outside ourselves that I mean, now you have a cabriolet, but I mean, it's that was one of your visions, one of your dreams, and you manifested it. But that's not what I mean. I mean, we're looking outside, we're looking at other people's success. It's like we're being tested, teased, and kind of leave ourselves, and we're not in the public school. I mean, most of us don't even know how to. And how do you feel, Sabrina? I mean, what are your feelings about that? It's like we're pulled out from ourselves all the time, so we're being outside ourselves.
Yes, but I think we have learned it from the whole beginning, and that is a very easy way to manipulate other people, to just let us be in this box. We have learned it from the school, and the whole system is just raising us to be and think in a limit box. And we haven't learned the whole truth of who we are and our power. But in that moment, when you are listening to someone who's knowing more, and in that moment when you are seeing story, or you can feel it from inside, when you are activating your higher self's feeling, and this knowingness that you know there is more for us to live, then we have this opportunity to take this and learn more about ourselves, because everything is from within. And yes, we have learned it all wrong. We have learned to look outside. But in that moment, when we are starting to study and know how it all works, then we are finding out of that we are living just like a simulation, or just like a mirror, a big mirror, because everything that is going on inside of you, you are broadcasting and see it out here. And we can't see it, obviously, that it's not working if we're trying to change the mirror. We cannot do that. And that is what we have struggling with so many years. We are trying to change it out here, but we have to change it inside. And in that moment, when we are changing our thinking, our being, when we are living like we want to be right now, it will be reflected out here. And that is the thing that is so important to learn. And that is why all manifestation coach and all this thing is trying to give us things that we can work with to be more aware of ourselves. But the most important part is just to jump into the end of what we want and be that person now. And we can just practice with it in this moment, because a lot of the time we are saying, yes, I'm doing later or tomorrow or next week, and then I'm starting, but we only have this moment. So when we are starting to choose to be that person we want to be, choose to create that feeling and that happiness, and really know that we are perfect. We are perfect, love and whole, just like we are. We have learned so much shit about we are not good enough and all these things. And then we are just vibrating that we're not good enough. And we will, of course, reflect and meet things in the outer world that we are not good enough. So it's so important to be perfect now.
But not only that, I just saw in front of me, I mean, how does the outer world look? If you, I hardly watch the news. I mean, like never ever. But I know what's going on there. I mean, and it's just suffering. It's just misery. It's and that's what we get from everywhere.
Yeah.
That and if you just go into what you said, and because our fantasies, and if I actually have this app now with some, I just changed everything with happy movies, that it's like a Christian channel and some love channel, because I want to know that it's a happy ending, even if it's like kind of heartbreaking. I want to know it's a happy ending.
Yeah.
And then I feel so much better. And when you feel better, everything is better. And if you just look at the society, it's the total opposite.
Yes.
It's so draining. And when you're like prepped with that all day, it can't be good. Yeah.
But it's training, just like you're going to the gym and you are going to be strong biceps, or you're training. Then you have to practice to be strong. It's the same with your focus. It's the same with your choice. And that is such a good idea, just to, if we know, and we know because it is science, we know that everything we are broadcasting is a reflection of us. So when we know that, so instead of looking at all the things that we don't like, and when we are talking about it, we are just feeding it. So when we are just starting to see, okay, what do we want instead? That is what we have to visualize, and that is what we have to be and see for ourselves. And our state of being, our fantasy, when the more aware we are being, we know that our fantasy is our right place. That is reality, because we can create what we want. So our state of being, our power is our imagination. We can create what we want. So the things we can see out here, it is old news. That is old manifested. So in the moment we can put that down or close it and visualize and fantasize, what do we want instead? That is the state of being we have to be in. And that is what we can see now, because millions of people are waking up to this knowledge. So we are changing the world. But we cannot see it if we are opening the news now, but we can feel it. We can feel the power, and we can feel that so many people are just know that we are the creator. And when we are changing our focus, when we are visualize how we want to live, we cannot avoid to create it, because everything is already here. If we are looking at the world, there's nothing just coming down from another planet. Everything that we are experiencing or we are creating, it's because we are being more aware and we are tuning into it. Just like the movie The Matrix, when we are creating something, we can see it in our mind, and then the visible out here is starting to fix it. So we are creating it. And that is how all creation is started. So when we are starting to create our new dream, our new world, the way we want it, or all our personally think we want, when we can see it inside and being in that vibration, we cannot avoid to attract it and see it out here. It's so crazy and beautiful. And that is the most important part that every school should teach kids now.
Yeah, and the fantastic thing is when you really tune into this, it's like you don't see this. When I'm in a good place, and the place I live at the moment, I moved back to the place where I lived a few years up. And it was so different. We came home from Majorca. Everything with the world was upside down, and the COVID started, and I was really sad, and I didn't feel like I was in a good place. And when I moved back here in August, I'm like, wow, it's so good here. It's just, I can honestly say that it has to do with my vibration, because it feels like another place. Yes. And I see all the beauty, and I see that I live next to a castle, and I mean, yeah. So it's, for me, it's, every day I can just remind me of that you can live at the same place.
Exactly.
It's not the same, because I have changed.
Exactly. Everything is coming from it. And it's your story. It's your inner story that is defined what you're feeling and what you're seeing out here. And we can change our inner story. Of course, it is easier for us. And that was why I moved to Spain, because I feel more happy in the sun and with palms and all that stuff. So, but no matter where we are, and no matter if we are imprisoned or we are a very bad place, we don't need anything. We don't need money or anything to change. We only need the will and the choose, and we are choosing another thoughts, another feeling, another inner story. And we can all, no matter where we are, we can fantasize. And in that moment, we all know if we are sitting down and close our eyes, or if we don't need to close our eyes, but if we are just telling a story, if we are just telling a fantasy story of something that we really like. Again, how would it feel if you have $10 million and you can choose what you want tomorrow? If we're going into that story and just start to fantasize and say, what do you want to do? Play with it. And if you have talked about and play with that and thinking about it for 20 seconds, you can feel the whole system is changing. And that is how we can change everything. That is our power. We don't need to focus on all the things that we don't want, because we're just keeping ourselves in a bad place. It's so important that we just need to stop it and change our timeline. And we can do it every second.
Yeah. And we don't need like a physical jail, because you can create easily this mentally jail. And I think many people actually are in this, because we're closing ourselves in.
Yes.
In this.
But in that moment, when you recognize it, you can just change.
Yeah.
And that is our power. We don't need anything to change other than our thoughts, and start to create inner story.
Yeah, and it's so good to practice, because I've been through some really, really tough things, and I'm sure that more than I have been there. But the good thing is now I have all the tools. So I at the moment I was at the gas station, and like two big things happen at the same time, and I was like, okay, what have I learned? So I put on a thing actually with Bob Proctor, and I listen, and I just listen to the words, and like 10 seconds later, something has shifted. Everything was still there, but my state of mind had shifted.
Yes, exactly. And we can change in a moment. And it's not about exactly how the situation, never mind the situation, it is how you are reacting to the situation. And if you are doing the same over and over again, if you're going to be upset every time you're seeing it, you are just creating more of the same. But when the same situation is, you're seeing it again, you can say, oh, I prefer to look at it in another way. How can I look at it so I'm not reacting in the same way again? I can choose some other thoughts. I can choose to see it in another way. And that was what you did. Yeah. And when we are starting to do that with everything we are meeting, we can see that it is not the situation, it is how we are reacting to it. And the more we are training to be in the state of being we want to be in all the time, we cannot attract it. The bad thing will not be coming up to us anymore. So it's all about learning how to measure this simulation or this world, because we know now that everything is just a mirror of us. So the most important part we can ever learn in this life is to measure ourselves, to know, to be aware. The most important part we can train is our awareness of ourselves, our state of being, our thoughts, our feelings, and how we can change it every time we want to change it. And know that when I am changing my state of being, it is changing out here in the reflection in the outer world. So we are the creator.
I just had this picture in my head, small children. From the beginning, they have this like natural.
Yes.
They are so happy and joyful. And I know I'm not a thief, but when I think about it, it feels like I am a thief who has stolen something from them, even though I kind of made things different from my mother and father. I can see that I didn't have all the tools and the knowledge to let my 3 children be in that happy. I mean, they changed, of course.
Yeah.
And so if I think of it in a bigger picture, the more I help myself, the more I can help them, because obviously they were like a mirror of me. And the more I change for the better, I can hopefully mirror something back to them.
Of course you can. And in this moment, you can start to not judge yourself. Because we have all experienced so much bad and have done so many bad things we didn't want to do if we could do it now. But if we are looking at it, that we are just coming into this physical life to know who we are, to live and to try different things, everything that we are choosing is just an experience.
Yeah.
So, and it's the duality in this world. We can choose bad experience and we can choose good experience. And sometimes we have just learned so much because we didn't know how we could change it. So we have just practiced to be bad experience, but we can change that and that is the most important about awareness. when we are being aware of what we are doing, we can say, oh, I don't prefer that anymore. I can just choose what I want instead. And of course, when you are changing, your kids are changing too, and they can change themselves too, and then they have easier to change because they are born into a higher vibration than we are. So we are, when we just see ourselves with love, and when we are seeing all people with love, love is the awareness, is so we can choose love all the time. So we have to stop to judge ourselves, good or bad. That is just experience. So we are just love all the time, and we are just doing the best all the time. And when we are just vibrating more love, we cannot avoid to attract more love.
Did you affirm all your kids down to Spain?
No, I have 2 kids down.
I know you have 2 of them, but did you like in your mindset?
No, I only saw for myself that the smallest one, who is 16 soon, that he would come to me, and that is very fun to, with all this awareness and self-development and all this stuff I was start to speak about. My kids thinks that I was in the beginning with Bob Proctor and all this stuff. So I can just see now how they have, because I have just chosen that way, because I just know it's right. I just know that is how we all are functioning, and that is how we are working in this life. So I can see now that they have just taken it in. Like, so they are working with themselves too. They are buying into the stuff I'm telling about now in their own way. So I'm very happy to do that. So that is again when we just follow our heart and what we can feel is right. The people who need to be around us, they are just following us. So it's so important to be authentic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But you live your dream life. Yeah.
Yes, of course, I have more dreams because we are evolving all the time. So now I have new dreams. But yes, it have definitely showing me that I can create anything from nothing. So when I can do it, everybody can do it. So it's much about learning who we are and how we measure our inner state, and know that that is not only when we are lucky, that is not only when it is all the time. All the time the world is mirror us. That was what I want to say. It is, we really have to know it. We really have to know it, that everything that is going on in here is a reflection out here. And we cannot fight it out here. It's so important to change in here.
But it requires a lot of work.
No, that is your story. Again, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yes, we can change the story, and we can start to say, it's easy for me. Again, people can change. I have the feeling that I have struggling with it too. But I'd be aware, wow, that is just my story. And when I'm listening to so many other people, they can change in a day or 2, or we can manifest thing in an hour, in this moment. It's all happening now. So we can be aware of what story we are telling ourselves. Because sometimes our mind just traps us in a new story that is not benefiting us. So when we are starting to say, it's easy for me, maybe you're not feeling it in the moment, but you can say it's easy for me to change. And if you have said that for 14 days, you can just feel how easy it is, because then it is your law now. You are choosing the story all the time. So it's so much to be aware of what story am I telling myself. Is it benefiting me or is it not? and change the story. We are programming ourselves, and we are living ourselves, and we are feeling ourselves. We have all the parts in the role, in the character. So we are playing it all, but we are also controlling it. And if our story is not good, if the story is not benefiting what we want, we have to redirect the story and tell anew. And it's changing in that moment, because there's no time lag anywhere, because it's all happening in the now. It's just like the movie The Matrix. Everything is happening now, but not all the time we can see it reflect in the moment, but it's changing. And the whole world is starting to make it to you. So, but you have to hold that state. When you are holding that state, you cannot avoid to see it is coming into the physical world. But often we are going to be, we are doubting. We are not believing it if we can't see it in 1 or 2 or 3 days. But it's all just a mirror of you. So it has to come into your life if you are holding that believing or that state of being. And sometimes it's easier to play with if it's small things that it's not so so important for you. But when we are training our awareness, we can see all the time, oh, I have just manifested that. I was just thinking about this car, boom, and then it come. And I was just, all the things, I was just thinking about that person, and wow, now she's calling me. And all this we have known for, we just, that is ourself. Everything is just what we are broadcasting. So we can learn to do it more in more awareness, and we can do it for our own benefit. And when we are benefiting ourselves, we are benefiting the world.
But if I come to you, like as a client, I really want to change, but I have all the doubts, and you say it's so easy.
Yeah,
and I don't believe you. Will I be a hard client?
No, I don't think so. But of course, if you are coming to me and if you are paying me, I know you are willing to try what I'm offering you. Otherwise, you wouldn't pay me. So when you are coming to me and we have figured out if we are a match, then I, of course, will tell you about how I am working with you. So in that way, you know what you are going into. And if you have been in that state of being in a long time, if you are doubting, if you are not in a good place, then you are often willing to make a change. And you know you have to make a change, because otherwise you will just attract more of the same. So I will say to you, try this for the next 14 days, or maybe we can try to make something fun for the next 3 days only. Because the faster we can see some results ourselves, then we are willing to work more with it. We can change. We can just play with it. And sometimes if we are playing with it, it is more fun. Then we can see, wow, I did it. And I am often saying in my video and my blogs and something like that, just try without buying into my courses. Just try to visualize who you want to be, but you have to define who you want to be. A lot of people don't define who they want. They just want change, but they are not thinking about what they want. If you're trying now just to feel who you want to be and play with it, play with that role, step into that version of you, and you cannot avoid to see some changes. Maybe it's some small things, but you can see, wow, that was something about that, what I was thinking about. I could see for myself just to do that or have this dress and have this experience. And then you can see, wow, you are seeing it in the outer world, something that is matching the story you're making. So if people want to change, they just try it for 3 days. Or if you are buying into my courses, it is normally 3 months. But at the time, I have most in groups. So where we are training it, where we are talking about our change, and we can see it from the week to the next week, how the change is, how we can see the change in the outer world. And that is so powerful to listen to other story too.
Yeah, because the group dynamic is also very helpful. And I've been thinking a lot about this. Yeah, you call it group dynamic because by listening to another person's story, I can reflect inside myself. And so I think we need other people.
Yes, I don't think we need it, but it can help us to be inspired. But when we are more detached from other things, I think that maybe would be the best part to do if I have to change all the way I'm teaching it now. That when we are detached, try not to go to Facebook, social media, not do anything, but just be with yourself and your new story for a couple of days in the mountain where there's no internet or something, because then you can see for yourself, you can change your state of being. You are being aware of what is going on inside of you. That is the most important part, because that is you have to change. We are so caught up in to get a kick, and then we are just seeing, oh, what is that story, and what about this story, and can I listen to one more video? I can see it for myself. Sometimes I just want more info. But I don't need more info. I just need to practice and get my own experience. And when I'm doing that, I can see my own power. I am creating everything. I don't need something out here.
We have all the information inside, and that, I mean, I totally agree. I totally agree. We need meditation. We need to sit in silence. We need to. But what I mean with this people around us, I mean, sometimes it's so good because with other people and with other people's stories, I can also see actually my own development. I can say, okay, I used to be there. So by listening and because I think we need, like everything in the society, we need to stand on different, more than one leg. We need a silence, but we also need a group, but we also the most important thing is that you would need to be able to choose. And know that you have the possibility to choose. But then you need to learn what to do. You need to learn to know yourself to be able to choose. Otherwise, you don't have a choice.
No, you're just following the stream. You're not aware. And of course, it's so good to be in group or with like-minded people. Of course, it's helping us. It's supporting us. It's not because you have to live alone in the mountains your whole your whole life. Or of course, you need not need, but you want to make experience and have a fun life and all that. Of course, but to be aware of ourselves, is I really recommend the silence and just try to play with it. Because it's not, we don't need all these manifestation courses and all this stuff, but yes, it can inspire us and we can help, but the awareness is the most important part. You don't need me. Anybody don't need me, but we want to be aware, and we want to, and we need to practice our awareness, and we can do it ourselves. But of course, we can buy into a person like me to help with this awareness, but we don't need it. That was what I want to say. I can be helpful, but people don't need it.
But sometimes it is like this with the mirroring. I mean, because I'm a therapist myself, and in when I the best, not the best client, but the clients that do the fastest work, so to say, are the one who kind of use me as just a tool, because me being able to help them to help themselves, because like we talked about, I have all the answers, you have all the answers, but sometimes we need to meet someone to come in contact with the answer. So, and hopefully someone not judgeful, or someone who just, oh, but you know it yourself, but you can just give the person a little.
Yes.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah. And I see what I can do is to help people to be aware what they're not aware of. And that is, again, the only thing I'm working with it in my community is the only thing we have to do is to create the story. Who do you want to be? And every time you are not living in alignment with that story, I can help you to see where you are not aware, where you are telling a story that is going in the opposite direction of where you want to go. So this is the awareness I'm often helping with. And then, of course, I'm sharing about all the things that I am learning and all the things that I am aware of now. And that is just my passion.
Yeah, and I just want to, because we have the tracks in our brain, and as you mentioned, training. I mean, if I go work out once, it doesn't do much, but it's this repetitive. I mean, actually, if I meditate every day, it's not always fantastic, but like 1 out of 30 might be like, whoa. So, but you need to do it. You really need to do it. And that's also with the changed mind. I mean, it doesn't do me any good to just once practice thinking in another way. It's like,
no.
Yeah, I need to pull myself away from that and really practice. And it's a daily, for me, it's a daily work.
Yeah.
Or maybe you doesn't have to see it as a work, the daily life,
exactly.
Lifestyle. Yeah.
Yes, that is, I see it more as a choice. So it's not a work, it's a lifestyle, maybe. Because when we are starting to be aware, I would never go back. I cannot go back because I'm aware of how I am functioning. So I cannot be unaware again. So of course I will do it. I can see how it is benefiting me, and the stillness and the the things that are coming into my life, and when I manifested something with my awareness, that is just amazing. So it's just a lifestyle. It's just a lifestyle, I think. Because it's our power. We are creator, and we are manifesting all the time. But a lot of people, if they are not aware, they are just following the system and manifesting the things other people have told them how to think and how to do. So people that there's not aware, they are manifesting just like we are. They are maybe not aware of it. And if you're not aware of it, you can easily manifest things that you don't like your whole life. That is.
But if people were aware of how much power they have, really, by actually manifesting, I think people would be actually shocked, and also that you can step out, and I mean, you don't even have to say no, but I'm not gonna. I mean, I want to choose from what I feel.
Exactly.
So I don't.
Everybody.
I mean, some of the rules in the society. I mean, if it's good if you drive on the right side, because I mean, otherwise it's not good in the traffic. Some rules I think are really okay.
Yes.
Because but some of the rules in the society, they're just I don't know why they are made. It feels like they just want people to obey.
Yes.
And I'm not so interested in that.
No. No, exactly. And instead of, when we can see that we are not agreeing with that, then it is so important that we are seeing what do we want instead. Because I can see.
Yeah, you don't even have to fight. You just step
no.
away.
Yes.
Yeah.
But choose what do you prefer instead. And when we are creating that scenario with our imagination, then we are starting to build that society. It cannot be other way. It's the quantum physics. That is the way we are creating everything in our life, in this physical 3D world. It is when we are feeding it with our energy. And if we are looking at all the things that we don't like, we are just creating more of the same. So in that moment, we can always just look at what we want. Otherwise, we're feeding what we don't want. But that is the awareness, and that is the period we are living in now. The awakening, we are waking up to our power. We are not waking up. Yes, we can see there's a lot of corruption and things in the physical world we don't like, but that is just a small part. The things we are waking up to is our power. It is who we are.
Yeah, and that's much bigger because it is like this. They describe the arena where we are so busy with fighting about what we think are big things.
Yes, exactly.
But if you just step out, I mean,
what
we're talking about now.
Create your team. Exactly. We can all do it.
Yeah. I need to go to Spain and start this school to educate children to be enlightened.
Do that. Do that. I'm looking forward to see you down here.
I'm on my way. I'm manifesting it. So thank you, Sabrina. Thank you so much.
And thank you.
And for you who have been looking, I will put information so you can get in contact with Sabrina, and she's a fantastic coach.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time and for listening to me.